The rain has stopped. Water drips steadily from the portico roof onto worn stone steps, each drop marking time like a patient heartbeat. In the courtyard beyond, a Roman citizen kneels beside his small garden plot, hands deep in dark soil, tending seedlings that no senator will ever see, no crowd will ever applaud. Here, in this quiet space between public duties, something true reveals itself about the nature of ambition.
The Stoics understood what we have forgotten.
That the hunger for status often wears the mask of noble purpose, and only in solitude do we discover which master we truly serve. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, never meant for publication, that the test of genuine ambition lies not in what we pursue when others watch, but in what we cultivate when we are alone with our thoughts. The emperor who commanded legions and governed an empire found his deepest insights not in the marble halls of power, but in the quiet moments of self-examination. He knew that status hunger disguises itself as virtue, wearing the language of service while serving only the ego. Consider Cato the Younger, who walked barefoot through Rome in winter, not as performance, but as practice. While others pursued consulships and commands, Cato cultivated something harder to measure: integrity that required no witness. His contemporaries mocked him as theatrical, but Cato understood that true ambition must be tested in private before it can be trusted in public. He tended the garden of character when no votes could be gained, no reputation enhanced. The first teaching emerges from wet earth. Authentic ambition grows slowly, without fanfare. The seedling does not announce its presence to the neighboring plants. It simply reaches toward light, while sending roots deeper into darkness. Status hunger, by contrast, demands immediate recognition. It plants for the harvest of praise, not the nourishment of the soul. When we catch ourselves measuring our worth by external validation, we have confused the garden with the marketplace. Epictetus, who understood both slavery and freedom, taught his students to distinguish between ambition that serves wisdom and ambition that serves vanity. True ambition, he said, seeks excellence in areas within our control, our responses, our choices, our daily disciplines. False ambition seeks control over what belongs to others, their opinions, their recognition, their approval. The slave-turned-philosopher knew that real freedom comes not from climbing social hierarchies, but from cultivating inner authority. The second teaching flows like water between stones. What we pursue in darkness reveals our true nature. The Roman citizen tends his garden not because his neighbors will praise his vegetables, but because the act of cultivation teaches patience, humility, and care. These lessons cannot be purchased at any market or earned through any promotion. They grow only through practice, repetition, and time spent in honest labor. Seneca, advisor to emperors, yet student of wisdom, wrote that he learned more about himself in 1 hour of gardening than in a day of political maneuvering. The earth does not lie or flatter. Seeds grow or they do not, based solely on the quality of attention they receive. Status hunger promises shortcuts, connections, strategies, appearances that bypass the slow work of genuine development. But like plants forced in artificial light, achievements built on image alone wither when tested by time. The third insight crystallizes in puddle reflections. Ambition masked as virtue becomes a prison. When we chase external markers of success while neglecting internal development, we create a beautiful facade around an empty center. The Roman citizen who tends his public reputation more carefully than his private character finds himself trapped in a role that feeds status hunger while starving the soul. This pattern appears clearly in today's world, where professionals across all fields face the constant temptation to optimize for appearance over substance. The surgeon who seeks fame over skill, the teacher who pursues recognition over student growth, the leader who values image over service, all serve status hunger disguised as noble ambition. The Stoics would recognize this ancient trap, dressed in modern clothes. The fourth principle echoes in dripping water. Genuine ambition requires no audience. Marcus Aurelius practiced philosophy not to impress his court, but to govern himself wisely. Cato studied ethics not to win debates, but to live correctly. Epictetus taught students not to build his reputation, but to serve truth. Their private practices shaped their public actions, not the reverse. In our interconnected age, this wisdom proves more relevant than ever. Social platforms offer endless opportunities to perform virtue rather than practice it, to broadcast ambition rather than embody it. The test remains unchanged. What do we pursue when no one is watching? What seeds do we plant in the garden of character when no harvest of praise awaits? The final teaching emerges as clouds break. True success cannot be taken from us because it lives within us. External achievements, positions, wealth, recognition, depend on forces beyond our control. But the disciplines that create authentic capability, the habits that build genuine character, the daily practices that cultivate wisdom, these belong to us completely. Status hunger makes us dependent on others' opinions. Real ambition makes us free. The Roman citizen rises from his garden, hands dirty from honest work, spirit clean from authentic effort. He has tended something that will outlast the rain, outlast the season, outlast the applause of crowds who never knew his name. This is the Stoic path, to plant deeply, grow slowly, and measure success not by others' recognition, but by our own becoming. Rain begins again, washing the portico clean, preparing the ground for tomorrow's cultivation. In this rhythm of weather and work, private effort and patient growth, we find the true nature of ambition. Not a mask to wear for others' approval, but a discipline to practice for our own transformation. If this moved you, comment "The Citadel holds" below. It is our sign that you carry the philosophy with you. Subscribe and I will see you in the next one.